This is Mr. Mums, the parenting podcast that's as real as the mess in your living room, but way more fun.
Hosted by us,
Demi Duncan
and Melinda Baxter, the proud inventors of the Mr. Formula Feeding Safety Thermos.
We're here to share unfiltered life updates, parenting stories and advice.
Plus, the chaos that comes with juggling 7 children between us while running a business.
So grab a coffee or whatever keeps you going and join us for a laugh.
Because let's face it, we're all just figuring it out. Hi.
Hi.
Don't look at my sheet.
Oh, I cannot read that far anyway.
Alrighty. What's your go for this week?
No, I just had my sister's wedding on the weekend. Mm-hmm. Spoke about finding a dress and blah, 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 blah. Found one, loved it, felt great, loved my hair and makeup.
So you said you actually found 2 though. What happened to the other one?
No, I found 2 that I liked. One was a size 12, again, couldn't do up at the back. And one was a size 14, but I had to get so many alterations done.
Yeah.
Like, probably would have been a whole new dress. And I was just like...
Too hard
basket.
Yeah.
So, plus my sister and Mitch loved the dress that I wore, like, comparing the two.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh...
No brainer.
Yeah, and I couldn't be, like... It was a week out, and I'm like, can't bother with alterations for...
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And was it just the best?
It was the best weekend. It was so nice with the family. It was just 25 people, just our family. Married in Botanical Gardens, and we went to the Wharf Shed for dinner, and it was just our cousins, aunties and uncles, and yeah, it was so fun.
Oh.
It was just like and then we had great weather, so the whole weekend was basically spent at our house by the pool, which was, the kids just loved, because all their kids, like all of my cousins' kids came down too.
Yeah. So
it was kids galore, and everyone just played so nicely, and we just loved it. Like, it was just so fun being all together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, how good.
I know.
And it was a good
I'm like, I always think we're so lucky to not spend heaps of time with our cousins, because like who has time, like life, but to be so close, to be so excited to spend time together from Perth cousins and Melbourne cousins.
Yeah, yeah.
And have all the kids together, because we call our kids cousins. Like, we're just like, oh, the cousins are coming over.
Totally.
You know, I can't be bothered explaining that you're third cousins.
As if you'd explain that.
Exactly.
Do you know what I
but
mean?
then, like, when my sister has her baby, like, how do I explain to the kids, like, this is your actual real first cousin? We won't.
No.
But do you know what I mean? Not until they're older.
Cousin's a cousin. They'll figure that out when they're older. They'll be like,
Totally.
oh, your mum's sister and
your mum's cousin.
daughter.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, they'll figure that out. You don't need to explain, like, the full family tree to them.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice. I've got no news about my life since the last time we spoke, except, like, I kept stuffing up the kids' lunches.
Yes.
So I shared this on Instagram, but a couple of times now I've accidentally given Penelope's lunch to Valerie to go to kinder, which contains nuts, which
Do
contains
they have the same
sandwich.
lunchbox?
Different colours.
Oh.
One's bright pink, one's purple. I don't know how I'm still stuffing this up,
don't know
because
how
I
you
never
are
mixed it
either.
up with Leo's. But anyway, so twice Penelope's been like, Mum, you didn't give me a sandwich. Like, because sometimes Valerie only needs like a snack.
Yeah.
And she had to get a sandwich from the school. So I looked like so bad. Anyway, and then I was like, no, I'm going to get this right. The next time I like full concentrated so hard. I was like, tomorrow you kids can have a lunch order. Oh, I had to apologise to the kinder and the school and be like, I'm sorry. I am trying to make her lunch, and apologise to the kinder, like, sorry she came with peanut butter and nuts, because it's like strictly
So strict.
no
Totally. Yeah.
food like that there. Anyway, and then the next day I'm like, okay, lunch orders, guys, can't stuff this up. Leo comes home, he goes, Mum, you sent my lunch to the wrong room. I thought he was in, for some reason when I set the room,
Do you have to
that
set
he
a
was,
room?
yeah, you have to like assign what class he's in now.
Right. Well,
And
you
so-
chose a different class.
I thought he was in grade 1. He's in grade 2. So I did 1G instead of 2G. So he came home and he was just like, Mum, it didn't come to my classroom. Someone had to bring it over. And I was like, stop it. So this is the next day. And then after that, I got Penelope's right. So that was fine. And then after that, yesterday, you know how Aaron's home like every single morning. So I've got so much help in the mornings. Yesterday, he wasn't home in the morning. And I was like, I'm so organised. Like, I had time to like get myself ready, get the kids ready. Everyone was like so organised. We leave and Penelope goes, Mum, I haven't had breakfast. And I'm like, how? So I'm like, how did you not tell me? Because normally they're like, they wake up starving.
Yeah.
And so I had like this protein yogurt and a banana. So I'm like, here, eat this. That will fill you up. But like, what if she goes to school? In the car on the way to school. I was like, is this a joke? Like,
what is going on with you?
I don't know. Like, I'm so forgetful at the moment. It's like my brain's like in a different position. It's moved. I don't know what's happened, but I'm not.
Maybe you're sleeping
all there.
too much. You're napping too much.
Probably because I am napping a lot. Maybe it's like an iron deficiency because apparently that causes brain
here we go
fogginess.
again with Melinda needing an answer for literally everything she goes through in life.
No, but I am sleeping a lot. Like
You sleep all the time anyway.
nap. I'm napping a lot.
Yeah, but that's like norm.
I don't know. Anyway.
And people have brain fog. Like that's just, it could be hormonal.
No, I'm not
you know
having
what I mean? Like,
fog. It's just like I'm really forgetful at the moment.
you'll be fine.
I'm sure I'll be fine.
Yes,
but like,
probably because your focus has been so much on work. Like that's just what happens. Like
Yeah.
you've been working so much and like learning new things in business and like learning data and analytics and whatnot. So like that's probably used your brain capacity and then
In the
you just,
mornings.
it's not like you're not forgetting anything like life threatening.
no. And this is like after exercising. Like I'm usually sharper after I exercise in the morning too. But now I'm just like I remember and I had been concentrating so hard on their lunches. I'm like, I can't stuff this up anymore. You know how we upload a photo of our lunches every single day, the kids' lunchboxes? I uploaded the wrong photo. So I had to say to our followers, like, if you ever see a purple lunchbox, tell me.
Yeah. Because it's not right.
It's not right. It needs to be a pink lunchbox that you see because I don't show Valerie's lunchbox because it's typically just fruit
yeah,
or
you're
like
just doing a snack.
yeah, it's not much. So anyway, so that's my brain lately. So that's fun. And we had pasta sauce day in my family the other day, which is
So
like
yum.
delicious. So it's like, and it was the first one where Leo was like old enough to really
Get
want to
it.
help, and he like really was interested in physically how the sauce is made because it's literally his favorite food on the planet.
Can I have some sauce?
Yeah, you can. We just made
I
like
haven't had any in so long.
hundreds of bottles. So
actually so
No,
long.
you haven't. We haven't asked.
I don't want to ask. I just feel like you'll be like, oh, do you want some sauce? I'll be like, yes, please.
Anyway, yeah, so it was the first time he was just like all week, like
Oh,
he had the
cute.
option of Aaron was like to him like, do you want to go camping or do you want to go to sauce day? And he goes, oh, I want to go to sauce day.
Yeah.
So that was really cute.
Yeah.
So and he loved it. It was
Oh, so good.
adorable.
Yeah.
That's my goss.
Well, I don't actually have much else goals. Actually, Parker's one next weekend.
Stop. I was wondering when that was coming up. I was like,
Next
hang on,
Saturday.
when is that?
22nd of March.
Yeah.
Wild.
That's bananas.
I know. He's actually got his third ear infection at the moment. So his third one since October. So I've got to keep an eye on that.
Yeah.
Just so that like if he's getting getting them one a month,
Yeah.
I'll have to sort of get some further investigation done.
Are you market? I guess you go to the doctor and they have the timelines anyway. Like you don't have to mark
she has it
down.
all. No,
So
she has it all.
knows. Yeah.
No.
'Cause I was like,
I knew that I was there recently, which was Feb, and obviously now I'm here again in March, and I can just tell, and I'm not undermining like Mitch's ability to know when something's up or not, but this one, like the last time he had an ear infection, temps, wouldn't sleep, only wanted to be on me, sort of situation. This was just the whinginess, and just kind of not eating as much as he usually would, still eating enough, but not as much as he would, and just tugging. And I made a note it was his left ear. So much so that I ponytailed the hair on his left side of his head just to make sure he wasn't like flicking
the hair
out.
out of his
It
way.
wasn't annoying him.
That's smart.
And I actually didn't even tell Mitch I'd booked him into the doctor's appointment until after the doctor's appointment. Parker has another ear infection, and I just knew.
Why didn't you tell him? Because
Because he's like,
oh,
you
you're
don't
just
need to. Like,
over-exaggerating.
he's fine.
Yeah.
He's just bored. And I'm
Yeah.
like, he's not. I
No.
know him so well that
Yeah.
I can spend a whole day at home. So let's just say it's a cleaning day.
Yeah.
With him changing rooms.
And he'll be entertained.
Be so entertained. And
Yeah.
just like, it's actually funny watching him get into things and climb
Yeah.
on shelves and shit. It's not funny, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And then on the days where he just like, play, whinge. Like, got to pick him up sort of thing.
Yeah.
I just know.
You know.
So,
Yeah.
again, like no temps, but fiddling enough.
Yeah.
And a bit miserable over the weekend.
Yeah.
So, I'm so glad I went because now we're on antibiotics.
Yeah.
Scarlett had scarlet fever the other week. Random, I know.
I know.
So wild.
I just think it's
because
funny because Scarlett had scarlet fever.
I know, but scarlet fever is like not common.
Where is it common? In America or something?
I don't know. It's just not that common. She was fucking hit for 6, man. Like,
Yeah.
absolutely.
What were her symptoms? She had the thing on her mouth.
The first symptom was a sore throat. It's a bacterial infection in the throat.
Oh.
And then it causes other things. Like she vomited a few times.
Yeah.
She was so lethargic.
Oh,
she
so the
couldn't eat.
vomiting wasn't gastro.
Was not gastro.
As gastro is hitting Geelong hard,
No.
your daughter gets scarlet fever.
And then I tested positive for the bacteria in my throat too, but I wasn't vomiting or anything. I just had the sore throat. I don't know if as well it was a week my sister's wedding, so I was like, nah, I'm not going to let myself get sick. But I had a sore throat, which I was very honest with Melinda with how painful it was. And she's like, nah, how are you here walking? I'd be in bed like with an ice pack on my neck.
the slightest thing that happens to me, I'm like,
Dying.
I need to get over this. Like if I start to feel slightly sick, I'm like, I'll have a nap and I'll sleep this off. My solution's typically a nap. But anyway, yeah.
No, anyway, so I tested positive too. So I went on antibiotics and my doctor was like, I know it's your sister's wedding, but if you take antibiotics and then drink, it's not a great combination.
Really yeah.
I took the antibiotics during the week, didn't take them the weekend of the wedding, and then my throat then started getting sore again on Monday, so I quickly took. Now it's fine. But Scarlett was hit for 6, horrendous. Like she had lumps all over her tongue, she ended up having a rash, she had sores all in her nose.
Is she totally fine now?
Oh, no, I had to wake her up at 8:20 this morning.
Stop it.
Yeah, I was like, hello.
Imagine if one of my children did that. I'd actually think like
something was seriously wrong.
Yeah.
They are cooked from the weekend.
Yeah.
Like they were non-stop with the cousins.
Playing.
She had to sleep. Like one of their cousins slept over. They didn't stop. In and out of the pool, hot weather. And then back at school.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Plus I didn't go to bed last night till like 8:30, 8:45.
Oh, wow. Yeah. So it all adds up.
It all adds up. Yeah. But I wouldn't say she's back to 100%. The nostril that she has some sores in still has some like green, not runny snot. It's like sticky snot.
Yeah.
Kind of like mucus almost.
Yeah.
Anyway, she'll be fine.
Yeah.
She hasn't complained.
Yeah. Oh, that's okay.
But that's that. So Parker's 1 next week. That's that.
I just remembered another thing that I did that makes me look like such a bad parent. Not that I did, but Leo, this is all in the week of me not knowing food and lunches and stuff like that. Leo miraculously got a bruised eye and it started swelling.
Oh, wow.
So it looked like he got like
punched.
So
what
like
happened?
I don't know. His eye looked like, if I actually looked, he's just started saying my eye sore. If I looked at his eyeball, there was like kind of like a dark grayish patch on there.
Interesting.
And then his eye like swelled up a bit and was like slanted. And I was like, oh my God. But he said he was fine. It just hurt and now it stopped hurting. But I'm like, okay, so he goes to school. So between me not giving my children food, also not giving my other child breakfast, him coming to school with miraculous black eye that is inexplicable. Like
lucky the school don't know about you forgetting the breakfast.
I know.
So
no, but
they
imagine,
don't know all the points.
But imagine if they're like, these Baxter children.
No.
Like, Penelope's come to school today saying, Mummy forgot to give me breakfast. Mummy didn't give me lunch.
No.
Leo going, I've got a black eye. Where'd you get the black eye, Leo? I don't know.
I'm not allowed to say.
I can't. I think maybe I was fighting with Dad, like wrestling with Dad because they were wrestling.
Yeah.
But Aaron said he accidentally punched him in the face. Like Leo punched Aaron in the face accidentally. But maybe Aaron knocked him in the eye. I don't know. But like between all of that, I reckon I'm on watch. Like 100% they're watching me right now.
I do want to say, like in all of my, trying on 20,000 dresses and all that sort of stuff and not loving my body and how we've been actively trying to lose some weight for our breast reductions. I spoke to my doctor about it. I was like, hi, I need a breast reduction. She said, I have to have stopped breastfeeding for a whole 12 months. Oh. She said, if I ultrasound
and
the breast,
milk ducts.
I will still see milk ducts working. It takes a full 12 months for all of the hormones and milk, I don't know, to just dissolve and go away.
Yeah, actually that's true because you know how like way after you finish breastfeeding, you can still kind of get milk out.
So she's like, I can't even entertain the idea with you yet because I'm still 6 months, effectively 6 months away.
Right.
And she said your rib cage, which is why I can't get my dresses done up. She's like, your rib cage expands in pregnancy. So it's kind of like a skeleton, like you're like a skeleton. That's why you're feeling wider there compared, like I'm denoting. And I was like, oh, okay. So I'll give myself some more time.
How long does that take to like go fully back? I'm going to be Googling that. Hopefully it's like 5 years and that's my excuse too.
This is the same doctor that I tried to get Ozempic off.
I'll be like, it's my rib cage still. Because I always say that to Aaron. I'm like, I've just had kids. He's like, Valerie's 3.
Yeah. But I will say that the 5K a day, I think really helped me get moving again. Like I was very sporadic. The 5K a day, I know I said I wouldn't speak about it again, but upon reflection, I think it really did help me shed a couple of centimeters.
Yeah.
I don't weigh myself, so I'm not talking about kilos as such. And then I was fasting from like probably, I didn't do it for very long. It was like 5 weeks. I don't know if that helped.
It's probably everything combined.
But I haven't gone back to fasting yet because I love my morning coffee. Yeah.
So for me,
that should be my sponsor, but not sponsor my fucking coffee machine.
I think a lot of people have like are in our community group. where we had the 5K day, a lot of people said like my first non-5K day walk where they usually wouldn't be walking.
Yeah.
So I think that's how, and it just makes you sort of feel like, oh, I haven't gone on a walk in ages.
Yeah. I think it just makes you think about it a bit more.
Yeah, and kind of like you're used to that movement.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like that's how it helps you so much going forward.
And I sorry to cut you off. I think we will do another challenge in some form of movement way. When that will be and what that will be, it'll look different because I think like getting people to do 5K a day is a very good challenge to get people to do. Yeah. But it wasn't challenging for you. It was, but like you naturally were trying to move your body every day anyway and you exercise every day. So like
4 days a week I exercise.
Okay.
Religiously.
But I mean like it wasn't, you were already kind of doing it.
Yeah, it was easier than the last time I went from like stagnant to walking or whatever. Then this was,
But I think the 5K day to get people involved, especially people that are stagnant, it's actually easy to get them involved doing that.
Yeah.
But whereas like for us, maybe it's something, not necessarily for me because I haven't done it again since. I haven't been on a walk since.
Oh, haven't you?
Nah.
Since what, 5K day?
Nah.
What? But you've been on runs.
I went on one run yesterday.
Yeah, but you also had, we only just finished it and you've had a wedding.
No, that was 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago was my last, yesterday was my last run.
Yeah, right.
And the Friday was the last day of 5K day. So 2 weeks on Friday.
Well, you're not a very good advocate, are you?
I know. 2 weeks ago on Friday.
A lot since.
Anyway, I was just saying I think that has helped me lose some centimetres. But moving on to hormonal stuff.
Yeah.
My body doesn't know that I'm done having kids, right? Like it's not like it's not like I've had my
Your body doesn't know Mitch has had a vasectomy.
Exactly. Mind you, it's been the best thing ever not to worry about ever falling pregnant.
Yeah, I know, because you were rogue anyway. Like, you guys were reckless.
But still, like, people still worry. Like, even though sometimes if your period's late or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, you can still be like.
I'm on the pill.
Exactly.
And
but I'm like, I don't have to think about literally anything. Like, literally anything.
Yeah.
It's so good. Anyway, my body doesn't know that I haven't had my tubes tied where it's like, all right, you're done.
Yeah.
But ever since my first period back with Parker and just after that one, I'm feeling all of the PMS symptoms. I can't explain it. It's like, is it an age thing?
Do you
that
mean
all
like
of a sudden I know when I'm ovulating. I know when I'm about to ovulate. I know when I'm ovulating. Hello, well, I would have loved to have known this information when I was actually trying to fall pregnant. And I have never had symptoms of like, I'm about to get my period. Mm-hmm. Holy moly. I know it so well now. Like I can't explain it.
Like what?
Just the bloatingness of like pushing my belly out.
Your mood, like anger?
My mood. What it feels like if I'm going on a run or a walk. Like it's just different. It's a different feeling. I can't explain it.
Heavier?
Heavier.
Sluggish?
Kind of like you just like trying to.
Sluggish.
Get through.
Yeah.
Is it an age thing? Like I don't know, but I feel like I'm so in touch with it now. That I'm like, we need to be in touch with shit like this when we're like 20. But I don't know. Did I just not know then?
It seems like.
Do you know what I mean?
From knowing you, you've had not a single symptom in the world, like ever, to do with your period. You always had a relatively light period. It would just come and it wouldn't bother your life.
I know, but I spoke to 2 school mums recently and they're the same. They're 38 and
they've
40.
all of a sudden now got
way more
period symptoms.
Now.
It must be an age thing.
It has to be.
Yeah.
Because I'm just like, I never knew any of this. Like from when I was 26, when I went off the pill, 27, can't remember, 26, like those symptoms, like you're still young at 26.
Yeah.
Never had any of them.
Mine was, I probably started noticing like my skin was a big factor of change. Like I never used to have like ovulation things where my skin would become really oily during the month.
Is this when you were off the pill?
Off the pill.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't really have that many symptoms going from Penelope to Valerie.
Yeah.
And going between Leo and Penelope, in between those 2 kids when I wasn't on the pill anyway.
Yeah.
I never felt any ovulation symptoms. But now that we discuss it, after Valerie, everything went downhill for me. Like I felt like with my skin it would become outrageously oily or outrageously like.
Is that why you went back on the pill? Besides
pretty much for my skin.
Yeah, for your skin.
Yeah, because I'm like, no.
Yeah,
like, this isn't it. So, and the pill just controlled it for
Melinda
me.
said to me, I must be ovulating because I feel like sweets. I'm
I
like,
say that all the time.
You don't ovulate. You're on the pill.
Yeah, it's not real, Melinda.
Not real, Melinda.
Like, oh, well,
it's in your brain that you feel like a sweet.
At one point, I got to like accept that I actually have a sweet tooth now because I never used to. Before kids, I did not have a sweet tooth. Like I loved chocolate, but it wasn't part of my.
Yeah.
I could happily go a long time without, but I'm like, oh, I could have a cake.
Yeah.
Like,
why do I feel like these sweets?
I must be ovulating.
Yeah.
You don't ovulate, Linda. It must be a period craving. You skip your period. Like,
I can't. Your period's withdrawal bleeding, not period bleeding. Anyway, honestly. I'm sure we've all been there.
Anyway.
But I was just like, it's just something that's happened to me recently. Like, well, not recently, but probably since the past six months.
Yeah.
That I'm just like, wow. I feel like a full-blown
woman. I think a lot of other people are like really in tune with their periods, especially like with like endometriosis and like things like that. Like if you have particular, like my periods are like 9 days.
Yeah.
Like literally so long. That's why I know it's probably bad for you, but I've always just skipped my pill. I've skipped my period while I'm on the pill.
Yeah.
And only get it every couple of months when my body's like,
hello. It's time.
Have it, Melinda. But but like you've always had like everything's been like really good. Mine have never been painful though. Are yours painful?
No.
I reckon I've only ever had one like painful period on the first day and that was it. So it's pretty lucky.
Mine are probably maybe day one now with the bloating. It might be like the first sign of a period cramp I've ever had. Yeah. But I'm not like agony need to lay down like sort of thing. I might just be like, oh.
Yeah, you can feel something.
Like, what was that? Like, I've just never had that.
Yeah. The only, whilst being not on the pill, I would notice a big mood change in me. And then I'd get my period and I'd be like, sorry, Aaron.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Like, that wasn't me.
Actually a thing.
And then actually when I fell pregnant with Valerie, I thought I had my period. But turns out, I thought it was period symptoms and it was pregnancy.
Yeah.
And
this is how I think like hormones in a woman is just like, you could get so heavily deep into it. But even with fasting and with the podcast I listened to about fasting, it's this woman was saying a woman can't just do fasting the way a man can because it all matters when you're ovulating, when you've got your period, like all these other things that are hormonal as to when you should be doing a longer fast or a shorter fast to like a.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. It's wild how like entwined it all is.
Yeah.
Yes. It's very interesting.
Very interesting. When you say fasting, you're talking about intermittent.
Yeah, our fasting that we're doing. Yeah, like the
so we both do it.
So this lady was saying with women changing that, like depending on your cycle.
I don't even know my cycle.
It's different for you, you're on the pill. But I mean like
when I'm craving the sweets, I'll be ovulating.
If I was to do it, it's like you just get better results and your body functions better apparently going in your cycle. Anyway, that's way too deep for me.
I went through a stage, remember, I tried to get off the pill and I felt my hormones having a fit for the first time.
But I think like you didn't give it long enough.
I gave it like 6 to 7 months.
Sometimes it can take 12 months.
I don't have 12 months.
You have the rest of your life, but okay.
No. It was like horrible. I hated it. I like myself better on the pill. I don't have as many mood swings. I'm actually a better person with Estelle.
I would love to see after 12 months.
Yeah, right.
What it's like.
Well, don't know because I haven't been off the pill and not been pregnant in.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
A long time. But no, I don't know what I'd be like. But
just
that
naturally, once it's all like gotten out of you and had time to like get back on track.
I don't know. I just feel like it's a more of a controlled environment if I'm on the pill. It's just like I just like it better. I don't know. Yeah, and I don't stress as much. But
you also don't know what it's like to be off it for 12 months and potentially, like it's been so long now.
I'm not going off it right now.
I'm not saying you should. I just, personally have no interest in putting that in my body.
I remember being scared to tell you I was going back on the pill. I remember being like, oh, what's Demi going to think? Because I've harped on for so long about trying to get off it.
Yeah.
Why did I get off it again?
But what if you could lose weight off it?
I did. Yeah. So my boobs reduced. And then I went on the pill. I know, but I'm weighing this all up. I'm like, okay, skin, which is it the largest organ on your body? It affects my mood if my face is I felt like I wanted to rip off my skin. My face was just so oily.
But if anyone can get something to manage that, it's you. Were you getting all these hydrofacials back then?
Yeah. And that's when my perioral dermatitis was flaring up and I just was my hair, my scalp went wild as well. Everything was just so congested and
oily.
You being oily. It was the worst. My face would feel hot and I just hated it. I hated it. And then on top of that, every day I thought
your boobs shrunk.
Yeah. Not enough for me to.
You don't know. I don't even know if you lasted 6 months.
6 to 8 months. I know I got over 6 months because I remember talking to the girls at Aesthetic Skin Clinic about it. They kept asking me, how are you going off the pill? We chatted a lot about my skin with the hormones. Anyway, I'm not getting off the pill.
I'm not trying to make you. I'm just trying to you think about
I have thought about it. I've weighed it up.
Yeah.
I prefer better skin. More controlled. I prefer to be happier overall.
Do a little business segment. Not segment, just a business chat. So many people have been saying, and I know they'll say it to you too, they just think that we have our shit together from our socials.
I think after listening to this episode, they'll figure out that I don't.
It's like, oh my God, Mr. looks like it's doing so well. How's the job? How's business? Blah, 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 blah. You're so good at this. Oh my God, it looks like it's flying. It will be flying when Melinda and I are wearing Chanel to work, okay? That's when it's flying.
That's when it's really profiting. When we're getting the dividends.
Yes.
Instead of the dividends are on paper and we're like, can we actually have the money?
Do we even have dividends on it? Yeah.
Right now we're still very heavily reinvesting into the business.
Totally.
So, yeah.
But I think what we have done right, because we've done a lot of things wrong, believe it or not.
Admittedly.
It's been so wrong. We took on and dived head first into showing our faces on the camera when the time was right. We got into reels when they started.
Before they started.
As they were taking off, before anyone did.
I remember watching a video from that Gary Vee guy who always gives business advice. He goes, videos are going to be the next
thing.
big thing.
Yeah.
Start making videos.
And then we jumped on TikTok before TikTok for our age wasn't such a big thing when we started TikTok. So we got a little bit of I'm not going to say a head start because it was already there, but we just were head down, bum up, we've got to do it.
We were in the figuring it all out stage whilst everyone was figuring it all out. Instead of trying to jump on now whilst other people are nailing it and you're still how do I make a reel? How do I do this? Yeah.
Yeah. So I think from an outside perspective, it's oh my God, you're doing amazing, which we do a lot of things right now. We didn't for so long. But I still come across so many businesses clothing brands, jewelry brands, cafes or whatever that don't do social media right.
Yeah.
And if you're going to start, if you're oh my God, I want to sell these iPhone stands.
So you're talking about product-based businesses?
Just right up this point in time. Yeah. This is my example. So you're going to put your logo on them, do it from home. Maybe you've had a baby. Maybe this is your side hustle. I'm going to do it for fun. You need to know how to sell it. You need to know how to make content. That is the most important thing, and you need to know how to sell it. So I'm just if you can't make content, and I mean record and edit, learn that first before you launch your business. The best piece of advice we got from Bianca and Bridget from BB Tate was you can have the best product or service in the whole entire world, but if no one knows about you, you're never going to get anywhere.
It's irrelevant, yeah.
So you need to, be able to edit that content and upload it. Again, we very much think that you should show your face because we've had success through showing our face and creating a community.
Which you were opposed to at the start, remember?
Yes.
You did not want to do that?
Yes, which I've spoken about why.
Yeah.
But we have done that. It's been great for our business. It's not necessary for every business. A makeup artist doesn't necessarily need to show their face.
Well, Bunny Caddy doesn't show her face.
Yeah.
She's a faceless business.
But I wonder if
she nails aesthetic.
But I wonder if she had shown her face and showed her family behind her business, people would be more inclined to buy from her now than all the dupes.
Maybe.
You'll never know.
I talked to her a lot about it.
Yeah.
And she goes, I feel like I need to start showing my face. She always says that.
I think if people knew the person behind a business, they're more inclined to buy from the original.
Well, you think, no, and that's exactly right.
Than the dupes around.
It's a longer standing way of building a community.
Yeah.
Communities last longer than your product. Your product will become irrelevant, inundated, be copied, whatever.
Yes.
But your face won't.
But my point is if you can't show your face to begin with, that's also okay. But you also need to be able to create engaging content. That's my thing. It comes down to content. You need to learn how to make your iPhone stand that you're putting your logo on, and you need to show me all the ways that it can be used in the most creative way without your face.
I think in 2025 now, saying I want to start a business, I don't want to use social media, I don't have a need to learn, isn't acceptable.
And then I go to a makeup artist, right? The girl that did my makeup for my sister's wedding, which I absolutely loved, Emily McGrath, she's from Geelong, loved my makeup. I did have to ring Melinda though to brief
I had to call her, I'm like, glowy base, just do like fuller coverage down the T-zone.
Because she's like asking me what I like and I'm like, let me just double check what I like.
I'll ask Melinda. I'm like, do a matte blush, bronze around. Like, I full had to explain it. I'm like, just medium to lighter coverage. Like, don't powder on her cheek. Just down the center, under the eyes. She loves concealed under the eyes.
Anyway, Emily nailed the brief, so I highly recommend her. And she's like, I'm so bad on socials, I don't post, blah, blah, blah. So you need to also think of your purpose of social media. So for her purpose is she doesn't necessarily need to create content because she's like, I'm not trying to necessarily like get heaps of new followers or like gain heaps of new clients as such. I mean, she's not going to try and say no to new clients. But I said to her, but if I come to your Instagram page and you don't post, you post once every 6 months, I'm going to be like, oh, she obviously doesn't do much makeup. So I'm just going to go to the next person. So her thing is like, all right, I need to be more active to show people that, yes, I still do makeup, but I'm not necessarily hustling for like new business 24/7.
Yeah, I think,
It's finding what you need from social media and your purpose. Because again, as someone who might need to get their makeup done and I come to your page, you haven't posted for 6 months, I'm going to be like, oh, no, you're not up with the times, your kit's not up with what it needs to be, whatever.
That's right. And also showing a variety, like especially as a makeup artist, she needs to show she can do full glam.
Yeah.
Also natural.
Yeah.
Also everything so she's getting
and if you do weddings, show that you do weddings, so on and so on. But again, that's makeup artists like lucky that you can post photos of makeup.
Yeah.
Clothes. Like I'm just like, if we owned a clothing business,
yeah,
we would create that much content in different outfits that I'm just like, I just can't fathom how clothing businesses don't do it. I can't. I actually can't. There are clothing businesses on Packington Street that I'm like, I go in there and I'm like, you have so many cool things. I've said this so many times.
I've heard about this business or these businesses like so often. You're like, you have great clothes. Why are they not on socials?
I want to shop with you, but I don't have time to window shop. So like, show me show me how I can wear those outfits. Show me those jeans. Show me that T-shirt. And show me how you wear that outfit so I can just come in and be like, I need to try on those jeans and that T-shirt that you put online. Yeah. Because like I need that outfit, but I need to make sure I can wear it.
Yeah.
Okay, actually I'm going to interrupt the pod and practice what I preach. Mums, PCA, if your wardrobe or the family's wardrobe needs a little refresh, you need to check out Edge Clothing.
So they've got the latest fashion trends and everyday essentials for men, women and children, and at prices that won't break the bank.
Love that. With 40 locations around Australia and an online store, shopping has never been so easy.
And here's the best bit. So Edge Clothing is offering Mr. Listeners 20% off store-wide. Use the code MIS20 at checkout.
So head to Edge Clothing to get yourself a bargain.
Happy shopping.
Anyway, back to the pod. It just grinds my gears.
Yeah.
It doesn't grind my gears, but I'm just like, you just could just do so much better.
And it's quite...
And I'm like genuinely like wanting better for the business.
And not only that, everything is challenging to start.
Yeah.
When you start out your social media, we're not saying it's going to be the easiest thing in the world.
No.
It is going to be hard and it isn't going to feel organic at the start, but it does get easier.
Yeah.
And that's the only guarantee is it will get easier. You will get used to, if you are putting your face behind the camera, you'll get used to putting your face behind the camera.
Or if you are covering your face with the phone, like as people do in a mirror.
Yeah.
But you're showing different outfits, then just keep doing that. Just start with that.
Yeah.
And see how things go.
That's exactly right. And I know you feel awkward talking either like using voiceovers or things like that. These days you can disguise your voice so easily. And it sounds real.
Yeah. And if you want awareness for what you have in your shop, the only way you can get awareness without paying someone is give them free products.
Yeah.
Like that's the biggest thing in social media at the moment is gifting. Yes, it costs you the product, but if they're going to come in and show all of their followers what they can get from you or your service, that is the best way to get awareness without it costing you money out of your pocket.
Yeah. We started our social media account, I think it was literally a year before we actually launched and revealed what Mr. was.
Yeah.
And that was another important factor as well. Like if you are thinking, I am going to start a business, I'm wanting to do it, just start your social media account. And you don't have to post your face or what you're doing, but just start it and try and engage an audience prior to actually launching whatever it is that you're selling. So would that be your business advice is figure out socials, no excuses, under no circumstances you need social media.
You need socials.
Yeah.
Because I just think you need social media to social media is like Google now.
Yeah.
I'm not Googling
how to cook meals.
Best restaurants in Geelong.
Yeah.
Because TripAdvisor and Yelp and shit like that comes up.
That's it.
I'm on Instagram or TikTok.
Yeah. Because that's where the genuine customers are. and they're going to give you real
life
insights.
stuff.
And you're also like, I don't go to a restaurant without looking up their Instagram account and seeing what they
what's on their menu.
What is on the menu. I'm not going to order without knowing what it physically looks like.
Yeah.
Like, no.
I just think if you need to be, if you're going to start a business or started a business and you haven't grasped your socials, you need to be actually scrolling. Scrolling is part of research when you have a business.
That's it.
Like, we have to scroll.
Oh, yeah. You've got to actually get inspiration from...
Scroll, save,
Yep.
send each other ideas.
It's a very fast-paced environment. Things change very quickly on social
quickly.
media. So you just need to familiarise yourself.
Yeah.
No questions asked.
Even if you offer a service, you need to sell that service on social. So you need to get creative. Like, you need to be able to edit content and put together content to sell your service.
And you need to learn where your customers are too.
Yeah.
Like if you've got a retirement village that you're trying to promote, they're probably not going to be on TikTok.
But if the kids that are booking them into their retirement, they might be.
Yeah. My business advice would be, mine's like a bit more broad, but mine's very much like starting a business. So this is for anyone who is starting, is just like, don't worry about failing. Yeah. Like failing, that not once crossed my mind.
No.
Not because it wasn't an option or a possibility by all means, but it just wasn't something we were
didn't think about it or worry about it.
We started our business really well from the get-go. We set it up as a company. We did everything properly. Like we didn't half-ass anything. No stone was left unturned. We like set it up properly with an accountant.
Maybe we'd have more money if we...
Probably. No, but it just made us take the whole thing more seriously. Like it was never really just like this little teeny tiny thing. Like for us, we had to invest quite heavily, quite quickly.
Yeah.
And hand over money. So failure just kind of like wasn't really too much of an option, and it shouldn't be for anyone.
But even if you haven't had to hand over heaps of money to begin with, like just don't even think about failing. If you're failing, you're going to learn from it. We have learned so much from everywhere we failed in business. And we have failed in business like so many times. Do we look back and be like, oh my God, like...
Absolutely.
But that's how we learn.
That is like literally, there's no other physical way to do it, especially if you've got no one around you to be like, oh, this is how we've done it. If I had a friend who had invented a product, we would have been fine. Like we would have had guidance there, but you can't always get that. And so just don't worry about the failure. I remember thinking before we started Mr. was it's harder not to do it because it was like physically, I don't know. I hate looking back and thinking I wish I did something. It's better to regret something you do than something you don't do. That's what I believe.
Sure. Yeah.
My second bit of advice is set boundaries, even at the start of the business, like with yourself, because I didn't for many years and it would intertwine into my whole life, and you just need to, like, if you are going to bed, and I know you're so excited the first few months, you're like, oh, I've got this idea and I just want to do this and I want to start this business. But your body like doesn't know the difference between you being excited about something or you being anxious about something. So it's like consumes you, and then you can get burnt out. So if you just set boundaries like, no, this is bedtime. Like whether you're starting a business or not and you're still excited, you go, this time I'm stopping work for the day. This is, if I'm at home with my kids, I'm stopping.
I'm still learning this.
You're still learning this, but it's a thing. Like you turned your notifications off the other day and you said now you can't turn them back on.
I know, but it's kind of dangerous because I was in a text last night and I had no idea what the text was about, and I'm like, I haven't checked my emails, and it was all in my emails.
But still, you just know to check your emails. Like you'll get used to that. So setting boundaries, I think, was a really important one. After you start your business, you'll have a massive spike with everyone around you all excited about whatever product or service you're doing. So for the first 2 or 3 months tops, you're riding this wave of like you're brand new, you're still excited. You will get a lull after that. So everyone will face lulls in their business, and it's usually after your initial spike where everyone's like,
especially because like your friends and family are supporting you like from the get-go and whatnot, and then like that doesn't last forever.
It doesn't last forever. It's through those lulls where you have to persevere and you can't get disheartened and think, oh, I'm just going to stop this business, because I think that separates, that exact thing there separates a successful business owner to someone who shuts their doors. And I think if we give ourselves credit for anything, we do that the best. Like we've had the most challenging times in our business, but we've been like, we just like ride through it. Like sometimes it feels like you're walking through a sandstorm. You're just like, this is so challenging. Like there was a 6-month period there where I was like, we're treading water. Like I literally felt like I was about to drown, but we got through it. And you get through it. And it's those times where people would just go, nah, too hard basket. Nothing's ever been too hard for us. We've been like, we'll find a way through. And then I think that's what we've done well. And that's always my biggest advice is people. It's like in the hard times, that's where you're successful.
I think we're lucky though having business partners. Like not everyone can justify like if it's a lower amount of money, product or service or whatever. You don't always have the like the space or the capacity to have a business partner.
And I get that. And I know that like there's times when I'm down, you'll pick me up. There's times where you're down, I'll pick you up.
Like, and when we're both treading water and it feels like that, like we both, but at least we're doing it together. When we're both, you're crying, like I'm usually crying too, so at least we're crying together.
Yeah.
Whereas it would be hard on your own.
It would, and it would feel very lonely and isolating. And I am aware of that. But in those instances, you need someone that you can talk to about it or network with other business owners. I think that's another really important thing because you aren't alone. There's so many other business owners out there that went through COVID, went through economic crisis and things like that you can talk to. Like you don't have to be alone in those times, even if you don't have a business partner. And another thing is with you, if you are starting a business, is be prepared to be nimble, especially with like things like social media. Like that changes every day.
Yeah.
1 week,
We're
10-second videos are trending. The next week it's like, okay, now everyone, Instagram's showing 60-minute videos. So, and you've just got to be on top of that. And so you've got to be able to maneuver.
They're always fighting to be the best, like Instagram, TikTok, Reddit, YouTube, like all these things are fighting to be the number one. So you've just got to be like,
you got to figure out, you got to be across
like
all
back in the day on
too.
Instagram, like filters were so massive. Like everyone used filters.
I know. Now if you see someone using a filter, you're just like,
I'm like, get the filter off.
I just want to see you.
I don't even think like that. I just think get the filter off.
Yeah, like I just think
that just looks weird.
Yeah. And we started in Instagram when Instagram was really like perfection. Everyone showed like massive
Well, it was
highlight
started as a
reels.
photo editing app. So like it literally
everything looked
filters
perfect.
Was like,
and we had to ride the wave of going like, okay, now it's a bit more like behind the scenes, a bit more like unfiltered, not so glamorous. So with social media, don't get stuck in your ways either. Like be nimble, but that goes across all of business as well.
Yeah.
But I'd say that's all my business advice.
Yeah.
If I had to sit down with myself at the start, I wish I could say to myself like, you know, all these things like of course there's going to be hard times, but it's those lulls like, and change what you're doing. Keep trying new things. I think that's another thing that we do really well. As well as we're always trying new things.
Yeah.
And I think that's what you got to do as well. Do not think this didn't work. Maybe it will work again next week. I'll keep trying. Like, don't flog a dead horse.
Yeah.
Try new things.
Yeah.
That's my advice.
Fab.
I don't want to know
You don't want to what?
Know my new challenge. It gives me anxiety.
Really?
Oh, so much anxiety.
Why?
Because I just don't know what you're going to give me.
That's because you're such a comfortable person.
Yeah.
Like you don't.
So I like my life.
It's hard for you to be uncomfortable.
Yes, it is. But anyway, get into it. Just start.
You can keep going on that.
I don't like being uncomfortable, but I love a challenge. And every challenge I've had, I have actually changed from it and have learnt from it.
So why have you got anxiety from your new challenge then?
Because I just still don't like change, but I know it will be for the better, and I just don't trust what you'll give me. Like, I just don't. It's you.
Why?
I don't know. That's why this time you're giving me my challenge first, because then I'll give you yours. Because when you're angry, I feel like the challenge is harder.
When I'm angry,
Last time-
I literally only come into this recording with one challenge.
Anyway,
I don't think I've got 5 up my sleeve. Today last week I come in with one challenge. This week I come in with one challenge.
at any given moment, I've got 5 up my sleeve.
No, I do not think like that.
do.
I'm just like, this is your challenge?
But now, anyway, so my challenge, I'll talk about mine first.
Are we recapping?
Well, let's recap the challenges. Walking
Melinda
away
had to put it on Aaron
3 times.
3 times in 2 weeks. She took over 2 weeks, but
Yeah, it did take me over 2
by
weeks.
one day.
Yes. However, the first night, so recording that podcast that day, then going home, I was like a ball of anxiety. I was like, actually, how am I going to do this? This is so far out of my comfort zone. I feel like I just don't know how I'm physically going to do it. So I'm like, oh, okay, I'll try and warm this room up. So I like gave Aaron a hug randomly, and he instantly is like, is that part of the challenge? Like, I was like, no, I'm just giving you a hug. Then he thought I had a stroke, so he fully believed.
I was like thinking, oh shit, this is going to be bad. He's going to like get angry and...
No, that came later down the track. Then I tried it for the first time, and he definitely was like, this is part of a challenge. I'm like, no, it's not, Aaron. Like, it's actually not. And I was so uncomfortable. We messaged Demi later. I'll get to that too.
We're not there yet.
Anyway, so then I got past it all. It sparked great conversation with Aaron and I. Like so after the first time that
she can't say the words, but like
I'm not attempting it.
She did the challenge for the first time, and then they had a conversation.
It sparked a conversation because obviously Aaron thought I had a brain injury, and then anyway, and it actually
we'll talk about
helped.
the conversation.
So the conversation was just like, after listening to all the responses that we had during that podcast episode of how much you just have to do, you do have to actually just get over yourself and make someone else feel better about themselves. Like I actively expect that from Aaron in return, but I didn't do that for him.
Well, you would had a different way of showing it because you thought that was your love language of showing it.
Yeah.
But that's not his love language.
No. And I dismissed that.
Yeah.
And just thought, but I am showing you love. And I thought that was enough, but it wasn't his way of receiving love.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I just thought, I'm like, no, it actually is really important. So, yeah, so I'm really glad that I had this challenge because it shoved me outside of my comfort zone, like flung me out there. Anyway, so then the podcast went live and I was like, Demi and I were like.
I think you did the second time first.
I did it the second time.
Yeah, so you've done it 2 times.
A technicality though. I had to message you and I'm like, this is what happened.
Yeah.
Is this included? And you're like, I'll accept it.
Yeah,
I
told me.
thanks.
She's like, that 100% counts. I'm like, I know it counts.
Good. Okay.
But in this, sorry, the podcast hasn't go live yet, so Aaron doesn't know.
He's still blissfully
But
unaware.
in this time, I was like, I'm stressed because I'm thinking he's going to be mad. Like, you're lying, basically.
Well, think about.
And I'm like, he's part of a challenge. But then.
It's a good challenge.
The day that the podcast went live, I got a message from him saying, oh my God, Demi, thank you so much. You're like our sex therapist. I need to take you out for a drink or two. I was like, he's not angry.
Because I was thinking, like, imagine if it's like off every romantic comedy movie where the guy's like, where the woman's like dared to date someone and then they do it and then he finds out he was just a dare.
A dare. Yeah.
And then they have to be like, no, it was something I wanted to do all along.
Yeah.
And I was just a game to you. So like, that's what I was afraid of, but
Yeah.
that didn't happen. And because it's like, I said to him when the episode went live, I was like, this is something I would love to have been like in my own personality and I wasn't. And it's things like this that push me out. Because it's not that I didn't want to be like that. No. I want to, but yeah.
You just haven't been, it's not your natural.
I haven't had to do it.
Yeah.
So I take challenges very seriously.
Yeah.
So
Obviously. Yeah.
So anyway, I'm really glad.
You're happy, even though me giving you a challenge gives you anxiety.
Severe anxiety.
You're happy for the challenge.
I am.
Sorry, you're grateful for the challenge.
Well, especially for something like that because that was like a main point about myself. And then I'm a perfect wife after that. Like, what else do I have to improve? That's the only thing he had on me.
So this thing, like now, like even just giving a hug and stuff is, you know.
Oh, that's right. Hang on. No. So this is what makes it so much fun. The day after I hugged him, he then said to me the next day, he's like, it's just so, but before he knew it was a challenge, he was like, oh, it's just so nice to just get a hug from you. Like, it just does make you feel so good.
And you're like, I'm the worst person. I thought actually the worst person.
I thought at the time, but I'm like, no, because it just was like the person I kind of wanted to be. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like,
meanwhile, at my sister's wedding, everyone's like, Demi, all you said all night was, I just love my husband so much. I'm like, ew, shut up, stop telling me what I said when I was drunk. All night, apparently.
I hate it when people talk about me when I'm drunk.
Hate it.
It's like not nice.
I know.
It's not nice.
Okay, good. Well.
Anyway, so all positive things.
Yep.
I'm happy.
So you've learned so much from your 2 challenges.
And I've learned, and I've learned that like, it does make Aaron just feel so good.
And so appreciated, and that's his love language. So little things like a hug go a long way.
And I did learn my love language. Yeah. So my actual love language. My friend sent me a quiz to do.
Yeah.
Turns out it is acts of service because it makes you pick between 2 things. It's like, what matters to you more, holding hands in public or doing this? And the way I accepted it, so it was like 40% acts of service. My last one
40%
was
40% acts of service.
Like out of 100% because it had like the 5 love languages and it broke the 100% up.
Sorry, gotcha.
And so for me, like in terms of importance, it was like 40% acts of service and then you had to pay to unlock the other ones. Yeah. But the last one was physical touch. So we're on like opposite ends of the spectrum. Yours, how'd you go?
Mine day 1 was really hard.
Yeah.
Because I was just like, how am I supposed to manage this? Mm-hmm. And this was no Apple Watch, by the way. I check all of my notifications on it, so much so that like I just know everything like on my watch. So I felt like I had to pick up my phone a lot to check it. Mm-hmm. But then on the flip side, it taught me that I don't need to pick up my phone. Mm-hmm. And it's fine.
Yes.
So there was definitely pros and cons. The cons, it was like, Demi, you haven't moved. I didn't know how many steps I'd done.
Oh my God.
Which I know is not that big of a deal, but when I've only done a small amount of steps, it encourages me to go out and do more steps. Yes. So like, again, pros and cons. Yeah. It doesn't matter that I haven't moved, but at the same time, I like it when my watch is like,
hey, move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't like not wearing it to exercise. Like, I need to know the kilometers and I don't take my phone when I exercise. Mm-hmm. So my watch is like
what you bring,
what I love for exercising. But general day to day, I think if you could take it back and give it to me a time that it wasn't my sister's wedding, I think I would have struggled more.
Yeah,
because for the day of her wedding and the days after that, I absolutely didn't need it because everyone I needed was in my house the whole time.
Yes, totally. So it was just a time-in situation, which frustrates me.
Yes. Got to think of these things. Yeah, I did it. Yeah. All right, so your next challenge is, but I have to say 2 weeks.
What is it?
You have to do 2 Pilates sessions in the front row and 2 Pilates sessions in the middle row. You are not allowed in the back row when you do Pilates at Upstate.
For how long? For 2 or 4 weeks?
I don't know how many times you do Pilates a week. It needs to be like 4 Pilates, your next 4 Pilates sessions.
I do 2 a week.
Yeah, so 4 Pilates sessions. So it's basically 2 weeks.
So I can't go in the back row. I literally get there earlier
I know,
so I can get the back row. I line up to get in.
That's why you're not doing it. Just go in the middle row or go in the front row. You have to do 2 in the front, 2 in the middle.
2 in the front.
2 in the front. You'll be okay. No one's going to look at you.
Do you know how close you have to sit to a mirror?
No one's going to look at you. Just focus on your Pilates.
That's so annoying. I love my back row. I get the spot right next to the bin.
You'll be okay. Get a spot near the mirror or get a spot somewhere else.
And in the middle, do I have to be in the middle or I can be on the side still?
You can be on the side.
Okay.
But you just have to be in the middle row.
But why? Like, why? How is this?
Because you're so set in your ways of being in the back corner and getting there first that so I'm trying to put you. That was like my Apple Watch. I was like, I'm not uncomfortable. It's fucking annoying. Same.
Just so annoying.
Yeah, it's annoying.
Well, it's actually really funny that that's your challenge for me because guess what?
What?
You know how you're like too scared to go back to hot Pilates?
Yeah.
You've been saying to me like, no way, I'm not fit enough. You've got to do 3 hot Pilates classes, but by yourself. So you can't bring anyone with you. You can't be like, Zoe, come with me. Melinda, you're coming with me. You've got to go.
What if I can't manage at the time?
You've got 2 weeks to do it as well. You've got to do 3 classes by yourself, hot Pilates of some form. So it's either hot strength,
like the variety in the heat room.
Yeah, and this is all at Upstate. So you've got to do that. You've got to go in by yourself and do it.
That would have been easier if you had been like, you're going to come with me.
No.
I'm going to get you your first one back.
No, the hard part is I had to go by myself for my first one because you weren't coming yet.
That's your problem because I tried to get you to come for so long.
I know. Anyway, this is your challenge. You've got to go by yourself.
Okay, well, we'll see if I can fit it in a schedule.
You can. You will.
Don't know.
Maybe you have to wake up at really early.
We'll see.
The only exception of you doing a class with someone else is if it's with me at a 6 a.m. class.
Yeah, okay. Not sponsored, but wish we were.
I'll go first because mine's right here. I harp on about this Hourglass bronzer. It is my favourite. Everyone should be using this bronzer. I am aware it's $90, but it is arguably, I think, the best bronzer in the world. It's super blendable. It is just easy to apply. Use a nice fluffy brush. It won't make your face look muddy. Just buy this bronzer. So it is the Hourglass Luminous Bronze Light. Make sure you buy the right colour because it comes in 4 different colours. Luminous Bronze Light. Do not forget that. It is the best bronzer. I used it as a makeup artist over like 10 years and it suited different skin tones, different skin types.
And you still use it today?
And I still use it today and I would never buy another bronzer.
And can you get it from Mecca?
You can purchase this from Mecca. Yes, the brand is Hourglass.
Mine is something rogue. I used to keep the kids' toothbrushes in like a thing on the sink. That would end up filthy. Then I would keep them in the drawer, like the container in the drawer.
I've got that issue right now.
I bought these things that stick onto the shower wall.
Stop it.
You can't see, but they're
like a silicone
gripping
thing.
I've got a green one and a pink one, and I have toothpaste and toothbrushes in there, and I get my shower head and I clean it out.
Stop it.
The water, there's holes at the bottom, water goes down, and I've got a beige one in mine and Mitch's shower.
Love
and
that.
I'm just like, there's still toothpaste mess in the sink, obviously from when they brush their teeth. But as far like the toothbrushes would end up like all entwined, like the toothpaste would end up upside down and all that stuff. And this has been so good.
So it's like an arched shape with kind of like a little joey pouch at the front, basically, and it's made of silicone with holes at the base.
Yeah. I'm sure Amazon have them. Like I don't think you need to buy this specific brand. Consoli with a K. But they were just cute.
Yeah,
like
pretty
for the boys and Scarlett and yeah.
Yeah, love that.
That's fine.
I've got that actual issue at the moment.
It used to drive me insane.
Grinds my gears.
And then Mum was like, the kids' toothbrushes needed replacing so often because of it was just so gross.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. My drawer's like blue that's the colour toothpaste and my sink is constantly blue.
Yeah.
Does my head in.
So there you go.
Fabulous. See you guys
Bye.
in a couple of weeks.
That's a wrap on another Mr. Mum's ep.
If you find yourself with a spare 2 seconds, we'd really appreciate a rating or a review to help new listeners find our podcast.